The incident. The skies over New Beijing glowed an eerie purple as the massive alien mothership hovered above the sprawling megacity. It had arrived without warning 3 days ago, positioning itself directly over the heart of Earth's most populous urban center. Attempts at communication had failed. The ship simply hung there, silent and ominous, as the city's 50 million inhabitants waited in fear. Global leaders debated how to respond. Should they attack preemptively, attempt to force communication, or continue to wait and hope the aliens would make their intentions known? As the hours ticked by, tensions rose to a breaking point. 10-year-old Lai Wei didn't understand the complexities of interstellar diplomacy. He only knew that school had been canceled, and his parents seemed worried. As he kicked a worn soccer ball around in the narrow alley behind his family's apartment building, he wondered if the aliens looked like the ones he'd seen in holovids. Did they have tentacles? Multiple eyes? He hoped they were friendly. A sudden hum filled the air, making Lai Wei's teeth vibrate. He looked up to see a bright light emanating from the underbelly of the alien ship. Before he could react, a beam lanced down, bathing him in radiance. He felt a moment of weightlessness, then searing pain. In an instant, Lai Wei was gone, reduced to ash by the alien weapon. The attack lasted only seconds, but its impact would echo across history. Hundreds of energy beams sliced through New Beijing, vaporizing buildings and people indiscriminately. By the time Earth's defensive systems came online, over 1 million were dead. As missiles streaked toward the alien ship, a booming voice echoed across the planet, transmitted on all frequencies in perfect Mandarin. Humans, you have been judged and found wanting. Your species is a blight, consuming resources and spreading chaos. We are the purifiers. We bring order to the galaxy by cleansing primitive races. Surrender now and your deaths will be painless. Resist, and you will suffer. The missiles impacted the purifier ship's energy shields, detonating harmlessly. Humanity's most advanced weapons were useless against the aliens' superior technology. As panic spread across the globe, world leaders scrambled to mount a response. In an underground bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, U.S. President Elena Reyes received the latest casualty reports with a grim expression. What options do we have? She asked her assembled advisors. Defense Secretary William Chen shook his head. Conventional weapons are ineffective against their shields. Nuclear options would devastate our own planet. We're outgunned and outclassed. There must be something we can do, Reyes insisted. I will not stand by while aliens slaughter our people. An aide rushed in, looking flustered. Madam President, we're receiving a transmission. It's from Antarctica. Reyes furrowed her brow. Antarctica. Put it through. A holographic display flickered to life, showing the weathered face of Dr. Hiroshi Yamamoto. His long gray hair and beard gave him a wizened appearance. Mr. President, I apologize for the unorthodox communication, but given the circumstances, I felt it was time to reveal a secret I've kept for decades. Dr. Yamamoto, the archaeologist, what secret could possibly help us now? Yamamoto's eyes gleamed with excitement despite the grave situation. 20 years ago, my team discovered something extraordinary beneath the Antarctic ice, the remnants of an ancient human civilization far more advanced than our own. And they left behind weapons capable of defeating the alien threat we now face. A murmur ran through the room. Reyes leaned forward. You found advanced weapons and kept them secret. Why? The technology was too powerful, too dangerous to release without understanding it fully. We've spent years studying and reverse engineering what we found. Now, it may be our only hope. Reyes exchanged glances with her advisors. It seemed implausible, but what choice did they have? What exactly are these weapons, Doctor? Yamamoto's weathered face broke into a fierce grin. War machines, Madam President. Colossal robotic warriors that harness energy beyond our current understanding of physics. Our ancestors built them to battle threats from the stars. Now it's time to awaken them once more. Rice took a deep breath, weighing the fate of humanity in her mind. Very well, Doctor. How soon can these war machines be deployed? We've prepared for this day, Madam President. Give the word, and we can have the first units activated within hours. Rice nodded solemnly. Do it, and pray to whatever gods may be listening that it's enough. As Yamamoto's team worked frantically to power up the ancient war machines, the purifier ships began systematic strikes against major population centers. Sydney, Lagos, and Sao Paulo fell in rapid succession. Billions huddled in fear, wondering if each moment would be their last. Beneath the ice of Antarctica, massive hangar doors ground open for the first time in millennia. With a deafening roar, thrusters flared to life. The first of Earth's guardians rose into the sky, a gleaming colossus of metal and energy, 300 meters tall. Its eyes blazed with blue fire as adaptive AI systems came online, assessing the threat and formulating strategies. Across the globe, more war machines awakened. Humanity's last, best hope for survival took to the skies, ready to meet the alien menace head-on. The battle for Earth was about to begin in earnest. As the colossal war machines streaked toward the purifier ships, a single thought echoed in the minds of humans everywhere. Vengeance for Lai Wei, and for all the innocent lives lost. The aliens who so callously murdered a child were about to learn why you should never underestimate humanity's tenacity. Earth's ancient guardians had returned, and the sky would burn with retribution. Titans unleashed. The first clash between Earth's ancient war machines and the purifier ships took place in the skies above the ruins of New Beijing. As the gleaming colossus approached, the alien vessel fired a barrage of energy beams. They splashed harmlessly against an invisible barrier surrounding the war machine. Inside the Metal Titan's control center, Major Sarah Chen marveled at the advanced technology. Despite years of training, she still felt overwhelmed piloting such an enormous and complex machine. But as she saw the devastation wrought by the aliens below, determination hardened her resolve. "Weapons hot," she announced to her crew. "Let's show these bastards what humanity can do." The war machine's arms rose, revealing banks of missile launchers. With a mental command, Sarah unleashed a swarm of projectiles. Unlike Earth's conventional weapons, these missiles phased through the purifier's shields as if they weren't there. They detonated against the alien hull, ripping massive holes in the previously impervious armor. The purifier ship listed, venting atmosphere and debris. It returned fire, but its weapons seemed ineffective against the war machine's defenses. Sarah pressed the attack, energy beams lancing from the Titan's eyes to carve deep gashes in the alien vessel. Similar scenes played out across the globe as more of Earth's guardians engaged the invaders. In low orbit, space-capable war machines intercepted purifier reinforcements, preventing them from landing. For the first time since the invasion began, humanity had hope. But the aliens were far from defeated. As the battle raged, the purifier commander observed from the safety of their mothership. The massive vessel hung in high orbit, coordinating the invasion fleet's efforts. "Impossible," the commander growled, multifaceted eyes narrowing as it watched another ship fall to the human war machines. These primitives should not have such technology. And subordinate approached, mandibles clicking nervously. "High Commander, our forces are taking heavy losses. We've lost 30% of our fleet already. Perhaps we should consider retreat." The commander's tentacle lashed out, striking the subordinate and sending it sprawling. "Retreat? Never. We are the purifiers. We do not run from lesser beings." The commander's mind raced, considering options. These human war machines were powerful, yes, but limited in number. And they had a fatal flaw. They required human pilots. "New strategy," the commander announced. "Ignore the war machines. Target population centers and infrastructure. We'll draw out their protectors and overwhelm them with numbers." Across Earth, the purifier ships disengaged from direct combat. Instead, they began indiscriminate bombardment of cities, power plants, and transportation networks. Millions more perished as the aliens sought to pressure humanity's defenders. In the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. Yamamoto watched the unfolding catastrophe with growing horror. "We're losing too many civilians," he told President Reyes via holographic link. "There aren't enough war machines to protect everyone." Reyes' hologram nodded grimly. "I know, but we have no choice but to press the attack. Can we activate more of the machines?" Yamamoto shook his head. "We're at maximum capacity now. But there may be another option." The war machines were designed to work in concert, combining their power. "If we could unite them all for one massive strike." "Do it," Reyes ordered without hesitation. "Whatever it takes to end this." As Yamamoto's team worked to synchronize the war machines for a final assault, the pilots fought desperately to stem the tide of destruction. Major Chen's Titan stood guard over the ruins of Shanghai, blasting purifier ships out of the sky, even as the city burned around her. "We can't keep this up forever," Sarah's weapons officer warned. "Power reserves are dropping. We need to end this soon." Before Sarah could respond, a notification flashed across her neural interface. New orders from command, calling all war machines to converge on a single point, low orbit above the North Atlantic. As Sarah guided her Titan into the uppermost reaches of the atmosphere, she gasped at the sight that greeted her. Dozens of war machines hung in formation, a sight both awe-inspiring and terrifying. And above them loomed their target, the massive purifier mothership. Dr. Yamamoto's voice came through the comm system, addressing all pilots simultaneously. "Brave defenders of Earth, you've fought valiantly. But now we must end this war in a single stroke. Your war machines were designed with the ability to combine their power, focusing it into a single massive attack. We've never attempted this before, but it's our only chance to destroy the alien mothership." He paused, his voice heavy with emotion. "I won't lie to you. The energy required. There's a high probability your machines won't survive the attack. But if we succeed, we'll save billions of lives." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. A suicide mission. But as she thought of all those who had already perished, including young Lai Wei, whose death had sparked this war, she knew there was only one choice. "We're with you," she replied, her sentiment echoed by pilots around the globe. "Let's finish this." At Yamamoto's command, the war machines began to move in perfect synchronization. Energy arced between them, building to levels that made sensors scream in protest. Sarah felt her Titan shudder as power surged through its systems. Aboard the mothership, alarms blared as the purifier commander registered the massive energy buildup. "Evasive maneuvers," it shrieked. "Bring all weapons to bear." But it was too late. With a silent flash that outshone the sun, the combined might of Earth's guardians lashed out. A lance of pure energy, as wide as a city, struck the purifier mothership. For a moment, the massive vessel's shields held. Then they shattered like glass. The beam pierced the mothership from bow to stern, gutting it in an instant. Secondary explosions rippled along its length as power systems overloaded. The pride of the purifier fleet broke apart, raining debris across hundreds of kilometers. As the light faded, Sarah's vid screens flickered and died. Warning klaxons blared as her war machine systems failed one by one. She felt the Titan begin to tumble, caught in Earth's gravity. "We did it," she whispered, closing her eyes as the machine plummeted toward the ocean below. "We saved them all." Across the planet, cheers erupted as people emerged from shelters to see the purifier ships falling from the sky, their controlling intelligence destroyed along with the mothership. Against all odds, humanity had prevailed. But the victory came at a terrible cost. The war machines, Earth's ancient guardians, had sacrificed themselves to ensure mankind's survival. As the blazing wreckage of Sarah's Titan streaked across the sky like a funeral pyre, the world watched in solemn awe. The human spirit had triumphed. But the true test, rebuilding from the ashes of war, was just beginning. Aftermath and discovery. The weeks following humanity's victory over the purifiers were filled with equal parts celebration and mourning. While billions rejoiced at Earth's salvation, the cost had been staggering. Entire cities lay in ruins, global infrastructure was in shambles, and the death toll continued to climb as the full extent of the devastation became clear. Perhaps most keenly felt was the loss of the war machines and their brave pilots. These ancient guardians, awakened in Earth's darkest hour, had given everything to secure mankind's future. Memorial services were held around the world, honoring the sacrifices made to defeat the alien threat. In Antarctica, Dr. Hiroshi Yamamoto stood before the now empty hangars, where the war machines had slumbered for millennia. His life's work, the secret he had guarded for decades, was now exposed to the world. But the revelation of an advanced ancient human civilization raised more questions than it answered. Dr. Yamamoto. He turned to see Lisa Kwan, a young researcher on his team, approaching with a tablet in hand. "Yes, Lisa, what have you found?" Her eyes shone with excitement. "Sir, we've been analyzing the data dumps from the war machine's final transmissions. There's something you need to see." As Yamamoto reviewed the information, his eyes widened. This changes everything. Get me a secure line to President Reyes immediately." Hours later, in a heavily guarded conference room beneath the White House, President Elena Reyes listened intently as Yamamoto explained his findings via holographic projection. "Madam President, the war machines were more than just weapons. They were a message from our ancestors, containing vast archives of knowledge. We've only begun to scratch the surface, but what we found is astounding." Reyes leaned forward, intrigued. "Go on, Doctor." "The civilization that created these machines was far more advanced than we ever imagined. They had mastered faster-than-light travel, colonized hundreds of worlds, even made contact with other intelligent species. But they also faced threats we can scarcely comprehend. Threats like the purifiers." "Are you saying there are more hostile aliens out there?" Reyes asked, a note of dread in her voice. Yamamoto nodded gravely. "The purifiers were just one of many aggressive species our ancestors encountered. They created the war machines as a failsafe, a way to protect Earth if their civilization fell. But they also left us a roadmap, a way to reclaim our heritage among the stars. The implications were staggering. Humanity had fought itself alone in the universe, only to discover it was part of a much larger, more dangerous cosmic community. And now they had the keys to rejoin that community, for better or worse." "What do you propose, Doctor?" Reyes asked. "We need to pool global resources, Madam President. The knowledge left behind by our ancestors could solve many of Earth's problems: clean energy, food production, medical breakthroughs. But more importantly, it could help us rebuild our defenses. The purifiers may be defeated, but there are other threats out there. We need to be ready." Reyes was silent for a long moment, weighing the monumental decision before her. Finally, she nodded. "Make it happen, Doctor. I'll speak to the UN about forming a unified Earth government to oversee this project. We can't afford to let national rivalries hinder our progress, not with the stakes this high." As humanity began the long process of rebuilding, teams of scientists and engineers from around the world converged on Antarctica. The hidden base that had housed the war machines became the center of a new global initiative, one dedicated to unlocking the secrets of humanity's forgotten past and securing its future among the stars. Months passed. Cities were rebuilt, stronger and more advanced than before. New technologies, reverse-engineered from the ancestral archives, revolutionized every aspect of human life. And in orbit above the Earth, construction began on humanity's first interstellar vessels. But not everyone welcomed these rapid changes. In the sprawling arcology that had replaced the ruins of New Beijing, Lai An, older sister of Lai Wei, the first child killed by the purifiers, addressed a growing crowd of protesters. "They say these new technologies will make our lives better," she shouted, her voice amplified by the plaza's acoustics. "But at what cost? Our cultures are being erased, replaced by a homogenized Earth identity. And now they want to send us back into space, risking another alien attack. The crowd roared in agreement. Similar scenes played out in cities around the world as factions formed, divided between those who embraced humanity's new path and those who feared it. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, something stirred. The defeat of the Purifier fleet had sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Species that had cowered in fear of the self-proclaimed cleansers now looked to Earth with a mixture of awe and trepidation. Aboard a massive space station at the edge of the Orion Arm, representatives from a dozen alien races gathered in emergency session. "The humans have defeated the Purifiers," rumbled Crix, a boulder-like being who served as speaker for the Galactic Conclave. "A feat none of us thought possible. We can no longer ignore the Earth question." A serpentine alien named Sulard hissed in agreement. "Indeed. Our long-range scans show they're advancing at an unprecedented rate, unlocking technologies that took our species millennia to develop. They'll be capable of interstellar travel within years, not decades." "We should extend an invitation to join the Conclave," suggested Zen, a being of pure energy. "Guide their development. Ensure they don't become a threat." Crix's gravelly voice held a note of warning. "And if they refuse, the humans have shown themselves to be formidable warriors. If they choose expansion over cooperation, could we stop them?" A tense silence fell over the gathering. The decision they made here would shape the future of the galaxy. None of them knew that humanity was asking itself the very same questions. Back on Earth, as the first starship prepared for its maiden voyage, humanity stood at a crossroads. Would they choose to rejoin the galactic community as peaceful explorers, or would the scars left by the Purifier invasion lead them down a darker path? The ancient war machines had saved humanity from extinction. Now, the true test of their worth as a species was about to begin. First contact renewed. The ESS Prometheus hung in low Earth orbit, its sleek design a testament to humanity's technological leap. Captain Amelia Zhao stood on the bridge, gazing at the blue marble below. In just 2 years, humanity had gone from near extinction to the cusp of interstellar travel. "Final systems check complete, Captain," her XO, Commander Rajpatal, reported. "We're ready for the jump." Amelia nodded, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "Commence countdown. Let's make our ancestors proud." As the crew prepared for humanity's first faster-than-light jump, tensions on Earth reached a boiling point. In New York, now home to the United Earth Government, President Reyes addressed the global parliament. "We stand at a crossroads," she declared, her voice broadcast to billions. "The stars await us, full of wonders and dangers alike. We must face this future united, or not at all." But even as she spoke, reports flooded in of protests turning violent. In London, Paris, and Lagos, factions clashed in the streets. Those eager to embrace humanity's cosmic destiny fought against isolationists who feared further alien contact. Aboard the Prometheus, the crew was oblivious to the turmoil below. As the FTL drive hummed to life, Amelia gave the final order: jump. For a moment, reality seemed to twist. Then, with a flash of light, the Prometheus vanished from Earth orbit. Seconds later, alarms blared on the bridge. "Multiple contacts," shouted the sensor officer. "We've jumped right into the middle of something big." Amelia's eyes widened as she took in the scene. The Prometheus had emerged in a star system dominated by a massive space station. Dozens of ships of various alien designs hung in formation around it. "First contact situation," she announced, her training kicking in. "Open all frequencies, universal greeting protocol." Before they could broadcast, however, a beam of energy lanced out from the station, enveloping the Prometheus. Amelia tensed, expecting an attack, but the ship remained unharmed. A deep, resonant voice filled the bridge. "Humans of Earth, your arrival is not unexpected. Though perhaps premature, we are the Galactic Conclave. We've been watching your world with great interest. Amelia exchanged glances with her crew. This was far beyond their mission parameters. But she straightened her uniform and responded with all the dignity she could muster. "Greetings, Galactic Conclave. I am Captain Amelia Jaub of the Earth ship Prometheus. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." There was a pause then. "Your words are admirable, Captain, but recent events have shown that humanity can be formidable when threatened. The defeat of the Purifiers has sent shockwaves through our galaxy. Many fear what your species might become." Amelia felt a chill run down her spine. "We defended ourselves against unprovoked aggression. Surely you can't fault us for that." "No," the voice conceded, "but the speed of your advancement concerns us. In mere months, you've unlocked technologies that took other races centuries to develop. The balance of power in this region of space is delicate. Your emergence threatens that balance." As the Conclave spoke, Amelia received an urgent transmission from Earth. The situation planetside was deteriorating rapidly. Riots had broken out in major cities, and there were reports of military units mobilizing without authorization. She made a split-second decision. "Members of the Conclave, I understand your concerns, but right now, my world needs me. Whatever judgments you wish to make about humanity, I ask that you wait until we've had a chance to properly introduce ourselves. We'll return, I promise you that." There was a long silence. Then, "Very well, Captain Zhao. We shall postpone our deliberations. But know this, the galaxy will be watching Earth closely. Your next moves will determine humanity's place among the stars." The energy beam released the Prometheus. Without waiting for further discussion, Amelia ordered an immediate jump back to Earth. They arrived to chaos. Orbital platforms were exchanging fire with ground-based weapons. The global communication network was in shambles. "What the hell happened?" Raj exclaimed, staring at the tactical display in disbelief. A garbled transmission came through. "To all loyal forces, this is General Octavio Ruiz. The globalists have betrayed humanity to alien interests. We're taking control to ensure Earth's independence and security. Any resistance will be crushed." Amelia's blood ran cold. It's a coup. They're using fear of alien influence to seize power. She opened a channel to all Earth frequencies. "This is Captain Zhao of the Prometheus. Stand down immediately. We've made contact with a galactic community. This infighting only weakens us in their eyes." But her words seemed to fall on deaf ears as the battle raged on. Cities burned, armies clashed, and humanity teetered on the brink of self-destruction. In Antarctica, Dr. Yamamoto and his team worked frantically to decode more of the ancestral archives. "There has to be something here," he muttered, "some way to unite humanity again." As if in answer to his plea, a holographic figure flickered to life, a recording of one of Earth's ancient leaders. The message was brief, but clear. "If you're seeing this, our civilization has fallen. But we left behind more than weapons. Beneath the ice lies the key to unity. The Harmony Protocol. Use it wisely, for it can save humanity, or enslave it." Yamamoto's eyes widened as the full implications hit him. "My God," he whispered. "It's not a weapon. It's a way to link all human minds together, to create a true global consciousness." As the hologram faded, Yamamoto faced an impossible choice. The Harmony Protocol could end the conflict in an instant, uniting humanity like never before. But at what cost to individual freedom? And how would such a united human consciousness be viewed by the watchful eyes of the Galactic Conclave? With the fate of Earth hanging in the balance, the true test of humanity's wisdom and character was about to begin. The Harmony Gambit. Dr. Yamamoto's fingers hovered over the activation sequence for the Harmony Protocol. The weight of his decision pressed down on him like the miles of ice above the Antarctic base. Unite humanity and potentially save it from self-destruction, or respect the sanctity of individual free will. The choice seemed impossible. A violent tremor shook the facility. "Doctor!" Lisa Kwan shouted, rushing into the room. "Rebel forces have breached the outer defenses. They're after the ancestral archives. Yamamoto closed his eyes, steeling himself. Then we have no choice. Initiate the Harmony Protocol. As Lisa began the activation sequence, Yamamoto opened a secure channel to the Prometheus. Captain Zhao, this is Dr. Yamamoto. We're about to attempt something drastic. Be ready for anything. Aboard the Prometheus, Amelia acknowledged the cryptic message with growing unease. The ship hung in low orbit, helpless to stop the chaos unfolding. Across the planet below, suddenly, a brilliant blue light erupted from the Antarctic continent. It spread rapidly, engulfing the entire planet in a shimmering azure glow. On the surface, the fighting stopped as abruptly as it had begun. Soldiers lowered their weapons, rioters halted mid-stride, and a profound silence fell across the world. "What's happening down there?" Raj asked, staring at the main view screen in awe. Before Amelia could respond, she felt a strange sensation, as if her mind was expanding, connecting with something vast and incomprehensible. In an instant, she understood. She could feel the thoughts, emotions, and memories of every human on Earth. "It's harmony," she whispered. "We're all connected now. One mind, one purpose." Across the planet, billions of humans experienced the same revelation. Ancient hatreds melted away as people finally, truly understood one another. The pain of the child Lai Wei, which had sparked the war with the purifiers, was felt and mourned by all. The fear that had driven General Ruiz to attempt his coup was acknowledged and soothed by the collective consciousness. In the Antarctic base, Yamamoto marveled at the effect. "It worked," he breathed. "Humanity is united at last." But even as a new era of peace and understanding dawned on Earth, complications arose. The Harmony Protocol had an unexpected side effect. It amplified humanity's latent psychic potential. Telekinesis, telepathy, and other paranormal abilities began manifesting across the population. In orbit, the crew of the Prometheus found they could operate the ship with thought alone, their enhanced abilities interfacing seamlessly with the technology. Amelia realized the implications immediately. "We're more powerful than ever," she said. "But will the Galactic Conclave see this as a promise of peace or as a threat?" Her question was answered sooner than expected. A massive energy signature appeared at the edge of the solar system. The Conclave had sent a delegation to investigate Earth's sudden transformation. As the alien ships approached, humanity faced its first test as a united species. Through their shared consciousness, a consensus was quickly reached. They would meet the Conclave openly and honestly, ready to take their place in the galactic community. President Rice, her mind now one with her people, broadcast a message to the approaching aliens. "Members of the Galactic Conclave, humanity greets you as one. We have overcome our divisions and stand ready to join you in peaceful cooperation." The Conclave ships entered orbit, dwarfing even the largest human vessels. A delegation teleported directly to the United Earth Government headquarters in New York, where Rice and other world leaders waited. Crix, the boulder-like speaker of the Conclave, regarded the humans with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "We sensed a great shift in your world," he rumbled. "Explain." Rice stepped forward, her eyes glowing faintly with the power of the Harmony Protocol. "We have united our minds and hearts," she said. "Through understanding, we have found peace." Slar, the serpentine alien, flicked a forked tongue nervously. "And these new abilities we detect. The power output from your world has increased 100-fold. A side effect of our unity," Rice explained. "We're still learning to control it. But I assure you, our intentions are peaceful." The Conclave members exchanged glances, communicating silently. Finally, Zin, the energy being, spoke. "Your transformation is unprecedented. Some will see it as a cause for celebration, others as a threat to galactic stability. We must deliberate on how to proceed." As the Conclave delegation returned to their ships, humanity waited with bated breath. Through their shared consciousness, they explored the vastness of human potential, unlocking new discoveries and innovations by the hour. but they also felt a deep longing to connect with the broader galactic community, to learn and grow alongside other sentient species. Days passed. The Conclave ships remained in orbit, silent and inscrutable. On Earth, humanity continued to evolve, their unity growing stronger, their newfound abilities more controlled. Finally, the Conclave announced their decision. Crix's gravelly voice echoed across the planet. Humanity of Earth, we have reached a consensus. Your rapid advancement and unification are unlike anything we've encountered. This presents both opportunity and risk. He paused, building suspense. We hereby extend an invitation for Earth to join the Galactic Conclave as probationary members. You will have access to our knowledge and resources, but must also abide by our laws and restrictions. Additionally, we will establish a monitoring station in your system to ensure your powers do not grow unchecked. It was not full acceptance, but it was a start. Through their collective consciousness, humanity quickly agreed to the terms, the path forward. Cosmic Horizons. The years following Earth's admission to the Galactic Conclave were a time of unprecedented growth and discovery for humanity. With access to the vast knowledge banks of countless alien civilizations, scientific and technological progress accelerated at a dizzying pace. The Harmony Protocol allowed humans to assimilate and apply this new information with incredible efficiency. Space exploration boomed as humanity, guided by the ancient star maps left by their ancestors, began to recolonize the worlds they had once inhabited. Terraforming technologies, refined through alien collaboration, transformed barren planets into lush, habitable environments within decades instead of centuries. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The Conclave's monitoring station in orbit around Earth was a constant reminder that humanity was still viewed with caution by many galactic species. Some humans chafed at the restrictions placed on them, longing to fully unleash their newfound potential. Dr. Yamamoto, now serving as Earth's lead ambassador to the Conclave, worked tirelessly to bridge the gap between human ambitions and alien concerns. We must be patient, he often reminded his fellow humans through the collective consciousness. We're newcomers to a community that has existed for millions of years. Trust takes time to build. Captain Amelia Zhao, whose historic first contact had paved the way for Earth's galactic integration, now commanded the flagship of humanity's growing interstellar fleet. The ESS Prometheus I was a marvel of hybrid technology, combining the best of human innovation with alien advancements. As Amelia prepared for a mission to a newly discovered world at the edge of explored space, she received an unexpected visitor in her quarters. The shimmering form of Xin, the energy being from the Conclave, materialized before her. Captain Zhao. Xin's melodious voice resonated in her mind. I come with a warning and a request. Amelia straightened, instantly alert. What's wrong? We've detected an anomaly in the region you're about to explore. It bears similarities to ancient records of the Void Dancers. The name sent a chill through Amelia, rippling across the human collective consciousness. The Void Dancers were a mysterious threat mentioned in the ancestral archives, a force so terrifying that it had driven Earth's ancient civilization to hide and create the war machines as a last line of defense. We thought they were just a legend, Amelia whispered. Xin's form pulsed with concern, as did we. But if the legends are true, the Void Dancers represent a threat not just to individual worlds, but to the fabric of space-time itself. We need you to investigate, but cautiously. Your ship's unique combination of technologies may be our best chance at understanding what we're facing. Amelia nodded solemnly. We'll be careful. But why tell me privately? Why not inform Earth's government? Politics, Xin admitted. Some in the Conclave still distrust humanity's rapid advancement. They fear that knowledge of the Void Dancers might push your species to develop even more powerful technologies, beyond our ability to monitor. I'm taking a risk telling you this, but I believe in humanity's potential to help. As Xin's form faded, Amelia sat heavily in her chair. Through the Harmony link, she could feel the ripples of her conversation spreading. as key individuals across human space were quietly informed of the mission's true purpose. Weeks later, the Prometheus I approached the coordinates of the anomaly. The ship dropped out of FTL, sensors straining to penetrate the strange darkness that seemed to engulf this region of space. "It's like nothing I've ever seen," Raj muttered from his station. "The sensors say there's something there, but I can't make sense of the readings." Amelia felt a growing sense of unease. "Launch probes. Let's see if we can." Her words were cut off as a massive shape emerged from the darkness. It defied description, seeming to shift and writhe in ways that hurt the eyes to look at. Where it passed, stars simply winked out of existence. "Void Dancer," Amelia breathed, the ancestral memories buried deep in human DNA resonating with recognition and terror. The entity turned its attention to the Prometheus I. Amelia felt an alien consciousness brush against the edges of her mind, vast and utterly inhuman. Through the Harmony link, she sensed similar contacts being made across human space. In that moment of contact, Amelia understood. The Void Dancers weren't simply aliens. They were beings from another plane of existence, drawn to this universe by the unique energy signature of conscious thought. And now, with humanity's amplified psychic presence, they had been attracted once again. "Evasive maneuvers," Amelia shouted, shaking off the mental intrusion. "We need to warn Earth, warn the Conclave." As the Prometheus I fled, narrowly escaping the Void Dancer's grasp, the true scope of the threat became clear. This wasn't just one entity, but the vanguard of an invading force. The darkness spreading through this sector of space was just the beginning. Back on Earth, the human collective consciousness churned with fear and determination. They had defeated the Purifiers against impossible odds. Now, faced with a threat that endangered not just their world, but the entire galaxy, humanity knew it had to rise to the challenge once again. Dr. Yamamoto, his face grim, addressed an emergency session of the Galactic Conclave. "The threat we feared most has returned," he declared. "But we are not the same primitive species that hid from the Void Dancers eons ago. We have knowledge, we have unity, and we have allies." He looked around at the assembled alien representatives, his eyes glowing with the power of human potential. The war machines of our ancestors defeated one alien threat. Now, it's time for us to build something greater. An alliance that can stand against the darkness and protect all life in this galaxy. As murmurs of agreement spread through the conclave chamber, a new chapter in galactic history began to unfold. The Void Dancers were coming, but this time, they would face a united front of diverse species, with humanity standing proudly among them. The greatest challenge of human existence lay ahead, but for the first time, they would face it not alone, but as part of a cosmic family. The Cosmic Crucible. The galaxy stood on the brink of chaos. As news of the Void Dancers' return spread, panic gripped countless worlds. Some species retreated to their home planets, hoping to weather the storm. Others began massive evacuation efforts, searching for safe havens in distant sectors of space. But Earth and its allies in the Galactic Conclave chose a different path. Under the guidance of Dr. Yamamoto and Captain Zhao, a daring plan was formed, one that would require the combined efforts of every sentient species willing to fight. "The Void Dancers feed on consciousness itself," Yamamoto explained to the assembled conclave. "But what if we could turn that hunger against them?" The plan was audacious. Using the principles behind Earth's Harmony Protocol, they would create a galactic mind link, connecting billions of sentient beings across thousands of worlds. This psychic network would serve as both bait and weapon, drawing the Void Dancers in while channeling the combined mental energy of the galaxy's inhabitants into a force capable of repelling the invaders. Amelia Zhao, standing beside the holographic representation of the Void Dancer she'd encountered, added, "We'll need to construct amplifier stations throughout the galaxy. Each one will strengthen our psychic link and create a barrier the dancers can't penetrate." The scope of the project was staggering. It would require resources from hundreds of worlds, technologies that had never been combined before, and a level of cooperation unprecedented in galactic history. But faced with extinction, old rivalries were quickly set aside. As construction of the psychic amplifier network began, Earth found itself at the center of a whirlwind of activity. The planet became a hub for scientific collaboration, with alien researchers working alongside humans to refine the Harmony Protocol for galactic use. Lian, once a voice of caution against alien influence, now led a team developing interfaces that would allow non-human minds to join the network safely. "We're not losing our humanity," she told reporters. "We're expanding it, becoming part of something greater than ourselves." But time was not on their side. As the months passed, reports of Void Dancer attacks increased. Entire star systems went dark, devoured by the encroaching nothingness. The network of amplifiers grew, but not fast enough to protect everyone. On a frontier world called New Horizon, colonists fought a desperate battle against a Void Dancer incursion. Just as all seemed lost, the Prometheus Eye arrived, leading a fleet of ships from a dozen species. Amelia's voice crackled over the comms. "Hold the line. The amplifier station is almost online. We just need a few more minutes." In orbit above New Horizon, Amelia coordinated the defense, her mind linked with every ship captain in the fleet. Through the growing psychic network, she could feel the fear and determination of the colonists below, the strain of the fleet engineers as they raced to activate the amplifier. With a surge of energy that made every mind in the system resonate, the amplifier came online. A shimmering barrier of pure thought expanded outward, pushing back the encroaching darkness. The Void Dancers reeled, their assault faltering for the first time. The victory at New Horizon marked a turning point. As more amplifier stations came online, the tide began to turn. The galaxy's inhabitants, linked in common purpose, found strength they never knew they possessed. But the Void Dancers weren't defeated yet. As if sensing the growing threat, they launched a massive assault on Earth itself, the heart of the resistance. Dr. Yamamoto stood in the control center beneath Antarctica, coordinating the planet's defenses. Through the galactic link, he could feel the approach of the Void Dancers, a howling maelstrom of unreality that threatened to unmake everything in its path. "This is it," he said, his voice carried to every human mind. "Everything we fought for comes down to this moment. Stand together, hold the line. For Earth, for every living being in this galaxy." As the Void Dancers struck, every human on the planet joined their thoughts, creating a psychic shield that flared like a newborn sun. Amplifier stations across the galaxy poured energy into Earth, strengthening its defenses. In orbit, Amelia and a massive allied fleet engaged the Dancers directly. Ships armed with weapons developed from a synthesis of a dozen technologies fired streams of concentrated thought energy, carving holes in the fabric of the Dancers' existence. The battle raged for days, reality itself buckling under the strain. But slowly, inexorably, the defenders prevailed. The Void Dancers, for the first time in their unfathomable existence, knew fear. With a final, desperate push, the combined minds of the galaxy's inhabitants surged outward. The Void Dancers were driven back, their very substance unraveling as they fled to the dark spaces between dimensions. As the last of the invaders vanished, a stunned silence fell across the galaxy. Then, gradually, a wave of jubilation spread from world to world. They had faced the ultimate threat and emerged victorious. In the aftermath, as the galactic community began to rebuild, a profound change had occurred. The psychic link that had been created out of desperate necessity had forged connections that couldn't be easily severed. Species that had once been suspicious of each other now shared a deep bond of understanding. On Earth, Dr. Yamamoto addressed the planet and the wider galaxy. "We stand here today not just as survivors, but as architects of a new era. The Void Dancers sought to devour consciousness, but instead they united. It as never before. We are no longer simply humans, or Zin, or Krix, or any single species. We are the living galaxy, aware of itself in a way it has never been before." He paused, his eyes shining with emotion and the residual glow of psychic energy. Our ancestors left us the means to defend ourselves. We used that gift not just to survive, but to thrive, to reach out and create connections across the cosmic tapestry. The path ahead is unknown, but we will walk it together as one galactic family. As cheers erupted across countless worlds, the ESS Prometheus I broke orbit, heading out to explore the farthest reaches of space. Amelia Zhao stood on the bridge, marveling at the newfound sense of unity she felt with every being in the galaxy. "Where to now, Captain?" Raj asked, a smile on his face. Amelia gazed at the star-filled viewscreen, feeling the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. "Everywhere," she said simply. "We're finally, truly, home among the stars." The war machines of Earth's ancestors had saved humanity from extinction, but it was the indomitable spirit of humanity and the bonds they'd forged with their galactic neighbors that had saved the universe itself. As the Prometheus I leaped into FTL, Amelia knew that the greatest adventures still lay ahead, in a cosmos forever changed by the crucible they'd endured together.